Skeleton Crew Studio. So I'm also like board member of Japan Independent Game Aggregates, which organize BitSummit. Is there anyone who knows about BitSummit? Oh, thank you. Okay, so okay, good. So I will talk a little bit, not little bit, a lot about BitSummit, in the history and how we build event. So I hope you enjoy my talk. Okay, start. BitSummit. So BitSummit is the largest independent game festival in Japan. Started 2013 as a small event for Japanese indie game developers. The first event has about 170 visitors. Since then, event has grown every year, and in 2019. Sorry, the event started 2013. Sorry. Then in 2019, the event counted like 700 visitors, which is about like 100 times bigger than the first one. And in 2020, you all know, like the event held, event couldn't held, like physically. So we decided to do online event, entirely online event, due to the corona pandemic. So we expanded online representation by enhancing our video content channels and expanding our YouTubers and influencers connections. In 2021, we had hybrid and online and real event and introducing a business day due to the restriction of the corona pandemic that only allow, related parties to enter. In 2023, this year, the event was held on 3 days with 1 day business day and 2 days for public access, counting about 24,000 visitors. Okay, this is the game, like Japanese indie games, like exhibit at the BitSummit. So before BitSummit, Japan originally have like independent developers like culture called dojin. And after BitSummit, like the following kind of name of indie game is widespread. The differences between dojin and indie games is dojin developers are often hobbyists and make fun faction games. And whether indie game developers are often, commercially active and make original games. Then actually, term indie game is difficult to define recently. Whether you're a one-man team or large team with massive financing, if you say, I am an independent game developer and this is my indie game, your creation could be considered an indie game, depends on the public opinion. But only important thing is if they have an indie spirit, if they make whatever they want to make. While indie games made by a small number of people usually cannot realize large scope productions, the hurdle for cost recovery is usually low. Japanese independent developers tend to create what they want to achieve. In some cases, they do not think much about sales, so it's kind of good or bad. So this allows for the creation of game with a strong sense of uniqueness, and which is not possible with let's think of the game that will sell well, This is kind of like history, but through the development, digital distribution, and emergence of online stores, this is like, the annual, Steam's release, So like we start event 2013, which is kind of light timing actually, because like the Steam release is increasing rapidly, which means like there are a lot of chance for indie game developers to, go to the market. So as you know, like originally game distribution was based on selling finished game on physical media such as cartridge or like a CD-ROMs. But production of this game-specific media required, contract and license fee with the platform owners. A minimum production run several thousand units or more was required. So you have to have like a large investment before this, digital distribution came. Then, the Steam PC game download store came, and digital distribution, which does not require a production of physical media, eliminates the initial investment and, inventory risk. This allows even smaller scale game creators to sell their, own game worldwide. Similarly, App Store were launched for smartphones and allow anyone become a developer, creating the groundwork for a wide range of individual and small-scale games creators to publish their works. Okay. Then so after Steam, as you know, like the Nintendo, Microsoft, and PlayStation also like start doing like a digital distribution stores. So that was very very good like movement for like independent developers. So this is like a video of BitSummit like 2019 before like a COVID.
And with that, BitSummit Experience begins!
Even though like we are Japanese event, like that we have a lot of like foreign developers to join, and I hope like you guys to join our event next year. Then BitSummit cycle. I mean Japanese like indie kind of game cycle. So BitSummit Cloud is based on mutual relationship between creators who want to share their works overseas, and then BitSummit try to like kind of show that Japan has a lot of interesting indie games, and then media who wants to feature interesting Japanese works, as well as cooperation with publishers and sponsors who see that value in this relationship. And I'd like to kind of present the history of BitSummit and interesting facts about the event of each year. 2013, we rented a small live house, very very small live house, and held our first event as closed event for related parties only. Most of them is developer, who work at the bigger studio, and also like who kind of make like independent game, like a dojin game. The total number of visitors was like 170, including the management members, like including us. Each of the participants had various thoughts and feeling about the game industry. At the time, most of them, working at the, bigger studio like Nintendo, Sony, or Capcom, or, other studio, they were, started passionate about making game to join the game industry, but, the industry became really big, so they couldn't work on like what they want. Like they are working on the part of the game, some of them just, making creatures, and some of them making like a, kind of environment. So they feel like they are in the game industry and they want to make games. So they are really happy about having our first event. They everybody's so passionate about it. And 2014 2014, the event was supported by Kyoto Prefecture because the government wanted to support creators as well. Then they saw our first event, they kind of became our sponsor. Then suddenly event became big, from second one. So we moved to the a big event venue called Miyako, which we currently use for event. Then because of like a government became our sponsor, we have to open the event to the public, because they use tax to support our event. The number of visitors quickly grow like 50, 100. So it was very, very like difficult for us to organize the event, this big event. And 2015, Japan Independent Game Aggregates, like the known as JIGA, like I'm part of it, like it was established. JIGA started, event management as an organization. We actively formed partnership with the media and began to attract sponsors on a larger scale. On a side note, actually, like there was a possibility that the BitSummit was ceases, to exist. I mean, because the first one obviously like it's just kind of fun event. Developers gather together to have fun, right? The second one suddenly became huge, and we didn't have any organization to run the event. Then we felt that maybe we don't want to do the third one because it's too much for us to do it in a volunteer basis. So then, time passed, like then suddenly, like, I don't know if you know about the Indie Mega Boost, the North American, independent game community, contacted us saying, do you guys do Bit Summit this year? Then I was like, maybe not. Then they say, you guys should do it, and Indie Mega Boost will be your supporter, then you should do it. Because at the time, Japanese like indie game scene is like unseen, like nobody knows about it. It's really super mysterious because most of Japanese doesn't speak English or any other language other than Japanese. So, there's no English, like a media cover Japanese scene or, so Bit Summit, Indie Mega will say Bit Summit is only way to know Japanese indie games. So then like we actually like created like independent, game association, then, did the third event. But this was really tough because, we didn't plan to, have the event. Then we suddenly have to, do the event. So it was like 3 months to prepare this event. So this event is to me like it's super like a memorable event because it was very, very difficult to run. And then 2016, the first year, Nintendo actually joined our event as a sponsor. So that means Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, the three of them, became our sponsor from like 1916. It was Bit Summit became widely recognized even by like ordinary fans because of like exposure of Nintendo. This one, it's the picture looks really dark, because we try to make like cool like indie culture of it. So it's like we try to make like a clubhouse feeling to it, like and then to show that the game creator is so cool. But Nintendo didn't like it. Nintendo say this is super dangerous to do the event like this dark. So maybe in the picture from next year, like the event is became a little bit brighter. Of course, So 2017, we focused on like public relations. We started collaboration with Twitch, like stream media, to allow people to enjoy the event online if they could not come to the venue. around this time, we began to receive more, article and interviews from non-game media outlets as well. So this, as you see, like this is a little bit brighter, but we try to make it darker. So it's the fine line between, Nintendo and our like independent, spirit. Okay, so 2018, I think this is the year the number of publisher, selling games started like increasing, like, the a lot of small publisher joining our event from this like fifth of BitSummit. The term indie game had become, established, and the industry was now able to, generate like solid business value in Japan this year. And also a lot of collaboration with overseas indie game events this year as well. There are also like more games that focus on like artistic expression, like, and some games might not even call, I mean, it's game, but it's really difficult to think it's game, it's so super artistic, or, so I think it's a good thing, like, game became like a, media that has a lot of, opportunities. And 2019, no, 18, 19. Okay, yeah, 19. This is the last event before COVID. The number of visitors to the 2 days event was like 17,000. As I said, like 100 times the size of the first event. And sponsorship from companies outside the game industry also began to appear. Like such as, I don't know if you know, like a Nissin, the instant ramen company, like became our sponsors. From this year, we have focused our partnership with school and, cooperation with foreign government agencies. So, we have a lot of different, reason to have the event. Okay. Yeah, Corona and BitSummit, it's weird name, but so during the pandemic, as everybody know, like we couldn't organize the event, in physically, so we had to do like a fully online event. In the first time, it's very difficult challenge, but we try to like make like online events and to feel like a BitSummit. It's very difficult, but so at the end we have like 3 channels, this is not 3 channels, but the 3 channels, introducing like program of sponsors and indie game creators, and second channel introducing all games, like all games that exhibit BitSummit to the streamers. Then this is the sponsor channel, and this is the this is third channel, and this third channel is my favorite. This is kind of live streaming of student game jam for 48 hours, and like a lot of mentors and game creators visited like this Discord channel to comment on the game. So this is really good. This like game jam became our like a BitSummit game jam later. And 2021, this event was still influenced by the pandemic, but we felt that we did not want to indie game culture to die, so we decided to have a physical event actually in 2021. But we did not open the event to the public, so we only invite like like creators, like indie game developers and sponsors media. It's kind of like a business, like event. Yeah. So and also like hybrid version, like we use experience for 2020 to do like online exposure. So it's kind of online, you know, physical hybrid event. So instead of allowing the general public to enter, we collaborate with TikTok influencers and YouTubers and other, kind of like streamers to help spread information to a wide range of people. Even like outside of like a traditional like game fans, because of like influencers, TikTok, YouTube and the influencers, YouTubers has their own, users. So it was actually good and interesting. And so we also collaborate with, I don't know if you know, but the Dasking, the company, who kind of, the cleaning company, to ensure, infection control. It had been a long time since we were able to meet people, in real life in an event. So it's weird for Japanese people but some people say like, they forgot how to exchange business card. So, it's been a long time. So it's kind of fun moment. And then exhibitors, sponsors are related to, partner were very grateful for us for hold the event because, there were no event. Maybe, our event is the world first event to actually have the physical event. So it was risk too, but, I'm glad we did. And the people were totally glad that, we held the event. So there we are so happy that we try to challenge, organize the events. Then I actually felt that, this is so important that, we meet each other physically, online could work, online could do like a lot of things, but we need to, meet to share the feeling or, and talk about something random and drink together, so I'm glad that I did it. Okay, so 2022, last year, it's our 10th event. So it's called BitSummit Crossroad. We open the event publicly again. The closed business only event during a pandemic were, kind of well received. So, people really liked it. So we decided to hold like 3 days event. 1 day is, business day and 2 days. No, sorry. This time 1 day is business and 1 day is public day. Or 2022. So because it's influenced a little bit by pandemic still. So okay, weird. This is 8th. And okay, yes, Crossroad, 10th event, Crossroad. So yeah, BitSummit Crossroad is like a 2 days event. So 1 day is business day and 1 day is public day, and still has a little bit of influence by COVID, but it was fully open. I feel. Some people still wear masks, but okay, this is the event. So we don't really have like any like a restriction of the enter the event. So feel like we are back. And this year, we had our 11th event called BitSummit Let's Go, which was held last July. 3 months ago. At this event, we expand event for 3 days: 1 day business day and 2 days of public day. So total event duration was 3 days. The business day was well received again, and then also like people really liked it. The ticket sales were very good, even it's kind of expensive, like 200 euros, and showing that there was the same level of excitement as for the public days. And this shows, I feel like, the event recovered fully, then largest number of visitors ever. Total 24,000 visitors came to our event. Sponsors are returning to, and no administration restrictions. And I feel like that we are back in 2019 again. And this is like the kind of like I don't know if you guys know, but this is the creator called Sueli. He's based in Osaka. During like a COVID, like 2020, like online channel called like a Sueli visiting independent game developers is actually in a channel called. Then, the corner or Japanese game developer Sueli was introducing other game and creators. Then on the stage, we are able to repeat this experience, on the stage at the venue. So it was kind of like memorable moment. Then 2023, this is like a video of the 2023 this year's event. So yeah, it's all back, and this is a photo of all award winners on the stage. Yeah, everybody's happy. Then next, I'd like to mention about our overseas partners because we are, we have a lot of partners like supporting us, including Varga. So with the overseas partners, we provide like booth space each other to kind of like showcase each country's independent game developers, and also like support for like equipments and like sometimes accommodation. And then also like as I mentioned, like we do like a BitSummit game jam. We do like a game jam together with collaborators as well. So through the partnership, Warga and Kyoto had international game jam event in Kyoto. Is it last summer? Yeah. And we hope we will keep our partnership with Belgian indie game community from now on. お願いします. No, not yet. Should I stop? I mean, I have so many pages. I mean, you can stop anytime. So it became like a little bit, data. This is the number of visitors of BitSummit. So look at the 2020. There's not many people came to our event, but because of pandemic of we have online event. So then like after COVID, like the 2021 is like the just business only event. So we just count like 854. Then this year we counted like about like 24,000. So it's really good thing. And then this is like number of article that covers BitSummit, and also like SNS impression about BitSummit. So we try to like kind of engage with media or influencers to kind of spotlight indie game developers since we started the event. So this is kind of like a result so far. And then this is like showing like number of video streaming viewers. We never tried to do online, so 2020 is kind of weak, but we kind of eventually we getting better and better and better. So now we have enough kind of like viewers for our streaming. And this is various different YouTube channels, including official channels. So we have this much, coverage for YouTube as well. Okay, and this is like a number of like changing of number of participating countries. Like to start with, like we have a lot of like a Western, like a European, North American team, but recently we got like so many lot of Asian, country. That means independent game culture, began to grow in Asian country as well. This is a good thing. And it's just similar graph, but this is different. Like graph shows changing number of region, So this also can see like strong, momentum developing in Asian countries. This is recent one. Then we are always keeping like the ratio of Japanese and overseas exhibitors about half ish. Considering a mutual like influence between Japan and other countries. So we plan to continue with this ratio. So we always welcome overseas developers to our event, helped by our event partners. So and also like we also limited number of games about 100 or less, because if you have more than that, media cannot cover like each individual game, so player cannot play your game. So we try to make like 100 is probably the maximum number of for like 2 or 3 days event. And this is like our sponsors number changes, doing like a COVID, like, I mean, it's weird, like 2020 is okay because, we can, not lie, but we told them like, we do online events, so, exposure is more. And then next year, like, we didn't get enough sponsors because of, like, we didn't have no public access. But, the sponsors gaining. That shows, like interest in indie game is unbroken. Like I strongly believe that the independent game culture in Japan now is really strong and unbroken. And this might be interested in you, like like in terms of change among the sponsors, we can see like a lot of company who never published the game before. Now interested in like making game, like manga, comic, and animation companies starting publish the indie game. The Shueisha, obviously Kodansha, and Toei Animation, and Aniplex, and they use their know-how of their like content editors and knowledge of IP management. So if you are interested in like the I don't know, like making some IP game, maybe you can contact John or me, because I have like a lot of connection with them. Like they are looking for like creator to make game for their IPs. Then also like the music industry and traditional performing arts industry such as Kabuki company and food industry like Nissin and city development company are also interested in collaborate with indie game developers. And like national Japanese TV and the radio station are also paying attention to the game. So, in Japan, like the focus on game culture, continues to grow. Then, as I mentioned, Kyoto Prefecture has supported BitSummit since our like second event and continue to do so. They are also actively, supporting connection to the overseas partners like Belgium, and also like recently they're working with Dubai, so they invited BitSummit to their Dubai exhibition. And the Japanese government-related organization, BIPO, they are like visual industry promotion organization, and also like a JETRO, Japan External Trade Organization, are also beginning to pay attention to the gaming industry in the area of administration and trade. This might allow the smaller Japanese game companies to take on challenge to overseas market then vice versa. Maybe we can invite small team from Europe to collaborate with Japanese team. I have that. Okay. Okay. Here, like I'd like to talk about like a possibility of like a indie game. At the basis is our commitment to further help indie game to grow. So we are working on other initiatives to enhance the attractiveness of BitSummit as an event, and ensure that I will always be a event never gets boring. So since 2019, we started to hold BitSummit Game Jam. The purpose to holding the event to nurture the next generation indie game creators. Up until then, BitSummit has focused primarily to exist indie game creators and on introducing Japanese creator to the world. Moving forward, we believe that nurturing upcoming creators is also one of the BitSummit responsibilities. And then this one is interesting as well. This one's art and game. So its exhibition is called Art Bit Exhibition, an experimental exhibition that compares art and game. Not compare, but just show art and game together. Like select and exhibit them in different themes based on the idea. We thought like the contemporary artists also have strong influence by game culture, and I know like they all play game when they are child. So the timing of exhibition is with the BitSummit, with the exhibition being held in an art hotel called Antiroom in Kyoto. This is hotel, like gallery in a hotel room. Then we became partner, like official partner with hotel. So they providing accommodation service to the BitSummit attendees. This year it was free, so lucky. So the initiative combine games, art exhibition, and lodging. So result the event that expanded to the including parties and test play session at the hotel. So and then the hotel started do like a monthly like independent game gathering as well. So we are doing a good like kind of collaboration together still. And when you guys come to Kyoto, I recommend to stay the hotel because you get discount through Miojan. Then we also collaborate with the event called Make.Control.Japan, a group of people who develop game with unusual like controls. It's like a art control GDC like in US. So it's a similar thing. It's experimental games. It's fun. And then we believe that BitSummit role is to introduce the indie spirit by trading all type of game culture. That's one of it. Then also we starting focus on like non-digital games, like tabletop games. A lot of digital game creators likes to play another game, board game, tabletop game. So we invite them to showcase the game at our event as well. Then next year we expanded our events like larger. So we could prepare like their event booths as well. Then last and most importantly, the food. Because often like the game events, food is like afterthought. However, we think food is most important thing to kind of make people happy and kind of make the communication smoothly. So and beer as well. But the collaborating with like a well-known restaurant, a great opportunity to make the events even more exciting and also attract the people even though people doesn't really know about the indie game, but the people wants to eat food, so people come to event to, and then people see some interesting game and try it, then maybe they will like the game. So that's the point. So for this year, we invited a very famous restaurant called Shakudo Todaka, which has a 2 years waiting list for reservation. Then obviously like a ticket sell so super quickly. I couldn't personally eat it, so you know I should use organizer's power to buy ticket, but I didn't. So it's good. Finally, why has BitSummit been able to grow? I'd like to summarize my thought on this. From so beginning of we started handcrafted small event to proper like full scale event, and we started to organize event volunteer basis, then established the corporate incorporated associations. Event itself has been built by spending a lot of time and effort to team building and unifying the organization's awareness of the event. We always think about create indie game creators, how what they want, what they need, and while such growth usually leads to very formal events, like since the organization team itself is made up by developers and game-related people, it can be ensured that BitSummit stays a creator-friendly event, creator-centric event. And then also like continuation is important, By continuing the event through the time of the corona pandemic, the event further earned the trust of the industry and creators. And that very, very important thing also like strengthening the ability to spread the information through the streaming, also like the coverage, a lot of media attractions. Even though we were forced to hold the event, not forced, we want to hold the event on online due to the pandemic, we made best out of it and were able to achieve positive result in the end. Since we are now able to reach an even wider audience through our video, content channels, and then always be aware of adding new content. I mean, this is kind of like a weird thing, but we always try to add new things in the event to kind of like attract also fun, and then influence like creators, because game creators tend to make what they make, but they need some external like information. So we try to add like a lot of new things on the event to keep events like fresh, the people the creative mind fresh. And then most importantly, like event creation, keeping in this spirit is really, really important. We enjoy the change and the flow of the situation, like as a COVID as well. Always be aware of that kind of playful spirit in a creating event, like you guys making game. We always fun to like organize event, fun to think about event. So we believe that this is the most important hint to lead us to success. And I don't think I have time, but this is interesting new challenge for me and you guys. So recently BitSummit started collaboration with City Development in Shibuya, Tokyo, to make Shibuya, Tokyo to like a mecca or like a heaven of independent game developers. So it's just right out the center of Shibuya, 30 steps from Shibuya station. And then we have like a event space, studio, like streaming studio, and an important like food court and like bookstore and co-working space. And this is the image of the space, and we open this space 2024 summer. So please contact me if you are interested in doing something. Then we always already like talk about having like a Belgian exposure or something like that in here. So maybe this is the end. Yeah, thank you for your attention. It was a pleasure to share with the BitSummit today.
Thank you very much for
Thank you.
many things. It was so interesting because for us from Belgium, from Europe, and you saw at the beginning, a lot of people know the reputation of BitSummit, but it's very difficult to have the contacts and to know how we can participate. And that's the chance that we get this year. I went to BitSummit and to the game show too, but also very honored to be considered as a credible partner and the first one in Europe, like you can see. So it's a chance now for Belgium to continue this collaboration next year. We will have a booth at BitSummit. We will make an exchange of visibility of our games, not only for games from Belgium in the ship you have for 4 projects, but also here in Cadiz at the Gaming Zone open all the year, showcasing the indie games from Japan. So it's a really all the year collaboration that you want to create. And therefore we need also game developers, games to exchange. So spare a little money. We are going to Kyoto in July next year. Is there any question in the audience? It's almost time with 6-7 minutes left.
So I had a question. Sure. What is in Japan the best way to get an internship or even a job in the video game industry as a student?
So good question. I mean, as I said, like as I said, like a Japanese people doesn't really speak English or French or Chinese or other language. So best way to contact them is learning Japanese, obviously. But there's some company like my company, who are run by non-Japanese. I'm Japanese, but non-Japanese company exists. Then they are probably like interested in like doing like internship program. So maybe I can share the information with John about the company. And Kyoto, like the Kyoto city, and maybe Tokyo has like some program. So you can probably contact the government, to support your internship as well, because sometimes the government ask me to meet like some agency from overseas to do like an internship program, and we have like 3 interns right now, at my company, and like I heard like the other like companies has intern as well. So and then to get job, it's same thing, getting into the industry is like a very very difficult things at first, right? So maybe find some company that has a sister company in somewhere outside of Japan, and work at the company. Then you ask to transfer, or that's the where you can join the Japanese company easily without language barrier or anything, so I guess.
Thank you.
It's a good advice, but as students, if you are looking for internship, you can also see with your school, because we went with all schools in December from Belgium to make contacts. And there you have in Albert Jacquard, for example, someone in charge for the international relationship. And it's also that kind of contacts developing not only business contacts, but also academic contacts, and making the link between the academics and the studios, of course. So it's just the beginning now, but for the next BitSummit, we will also try to work with WBI. We are supported with AWEX, is all trade export association, but WBI is doing the same for the schools. So we are still developing that for the future. So there are possibilities, and having the list of the studio will be very helpful, of course, so we can then make the contacts. Do we have other questions? Yes, Lionel.
It's pretty much a more practical question. I was wondering, given the fact that you have attracted a large amount of visibility in a short amount of time, just in a few years, how do you manage to curate the titles appearing in the BitSummit?
What do you mean the title?
Yeah, the games.
Oh, okay. So we have like that's kind of we belong from like indie mega booth, and so we have a like maybe 9 months before the event, we open the entry. Then we gather entry. It's about like always about the 300. Then we have like jury, like a media or academic or fans, and like we have like about 50 jury, and we send them the bill randomly. Then they evaluate the game. Then we gather their evaluation. Then at last, our community, I mean our member gather together to check every single game together. It takes like, I don't know, 5 days to check every single game, and we talk about it. Then important thing that we don't really want to have all famous good games, right? It needs to, we have to sometimes take good well-made games out, then inviting like a youth, like like a young game. So it's always have to be balanced, but it's kind of like we spend the time to kind of evaluate the game and judge the game. So
Thank you.
9 months before, so it will be very soon. The opening
yeah, I
of
know,
the next
I know.
edition, so
I know.
we will share it. So follow the Walga social media pages. We'll share it, of course, and on Discord also. Is there another question?
By the way, next event is July 19th to 21st. So Japan will be super hot, very, very hot and humid. But it's good, right? I mean,
It's like a sauna. We sell it.
yeah. And it's like a lot of festival, Japanese festival is around. So it's fun. It will be fun.
Good food, good drink, culture, and video games. Everything to be happy. Arigatou gozaimasu, Masahiko. Thank you for all. I have a final speech to do in 2 minutes, so please join me in room 1, and then we can open the drink to close this edition of Meet and Build. Thank you.
Yay.